Hi everybody, I want to do a video on the block for this month that's called Time and Energy. It's another block done with the templates that we have, and it comes out really pretty, so I think you're going to like this block. There are a couple of things different in cutting our template on this one than the last one, so I want to go over that a little bit with you. Let's turn the camera around so you can see what I'm talking about. So as you can see here, the curves actually go together. And if you look closely at the directions, it shows that this is 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here. So that butts right up against that seam right here. Now, I did not, in my first one, have my seam allowance quite right, and so you can see on mine I have a little room. If it turns out that way, that's fine, but I just wanted to let you know that that's something to watch out for. And you can see here I'm a little bit closer. This one just did not come out as well as I would have hoped. I'm not redoing it, but I did discover that a couple of things that make it a little bit easier for doing this. So let's move to the cutting table here. And what I wanted to show you is once you have your curves sewn on each of these, the first thing you want to do, because you want to be able to nest those seams at the top here, what you want to do is press one side out and one side in. They lay nice and flat because this is a fairly large curve, so that works out really well. Then, I don't know if you remember from the pinwheels, but remember how we only, on a pinwheel, cut the inside seams first. And then after that was all sewn together, then we trimmed up for the outside. We need to do about, the similar kind of thing with this particular block as well. So what we're going to do is just cut these inside edges first. So, and what you want to do is be really careful that you're getting where that intersection is, where the seam is going to be, at exactly 1/4 of an inch. And I laid this down here and almost had it just right. There. So there's my 1/4 of an inch here and my 1/4 of an inch here. Now you notice right here, it's not quite straight, but what I found out you can do is just give that a little bit of a tug, maybe press it a little bit, and then when you put your ruler on there, it just kind of straightens out the fabric so that now we're in good shape. We have some to trim off there. So once you have all your edges lined up so that you're at 3 1/4 inches here, then you cut your seams, your sides. You do that on both of your pieces, making sure that it's the edges that are going to match. Well, actually in this, it would only be that inside edge. So that makes it easy. Then put right sides together once they're both cut, and you nest that nicely. Now this won't necessarily line up back here at the top of it or where the white part is, but it should line up down here where your color fabric is. Once you have that done, then what you want to do is press that seam out nice and flat. Now one of the things you do want to make sure you're doing is pressing your seam opposite of your pinwheel so that those two can also nest together. That gives you a nice flat seam there and makes it a lot easier to match your edges. So once you've done that pressing, now on this one, this went left and this one went right. On this one, it was actually, oh, I guess that one was the same too. We're not going to worry about that. What you want to do is just make sure they're the same. Sorry about that little faux pas. Anyway, so then the next step will be to lay this out and put, I like using the 6.5-inch ruler on this because it just makes it more accurate. And you want to make sure, if you're doing it, you want to make sure that you're on this 3.5-inch line here for trimming off the top, because on my last one I actually wound up cutting it on this other line, the center line, and that didn't work out too well. It was 1/4 of an inch too short. So I'm lining up to match these points. Those look good. I'm making sure this center line of the ruler is lined up with the center seam, and then I am ready to trim this up. So do that and do across the top, and then come back around, lining it up again with the 2 edges that we've already trimmed. And trimming off this edge. Once you've done all that, then you'll be ready to put your quilt block together as we usually do, sewing your rows here, here, and here. And what you want to do is press this seam towards your solid here. So then this seam goes in. That way these 2 intersections can nest. What I'll do is send you a photo of where I've done that. I took a picture of the back of this block so that you can see which way everything gets pressed. Again, with your pinwheel, I did spin that inner seam. I did not with these because there's so many intersections that I decided that it really wouldn't make that much difference if I did spin those, because that would spin it actually back this way, and yeah, I just didn't think it would help. So hopefully that helps you, and I hope to see you in class tonight. And if not, if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. Again, email, text, or call me. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.